back to our continuing coverage of Championship Week, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. This is semifinal number 1. From the Big East Championship at Madison Square Garden, the number 4 seed of VIllanova with an 8-point lead over the number 1 seed Louisville. Dan Schulman, Jay Billis, glad you're back with us here in New York City. What did VIllanova do well to get the lead in that first half?
Defensively, they were outstanding. They were able to stay in front. They were challenging shots, and they limited, for the most part, Louisville to 1 shot, and then they were able to take it the other way. They forced 11 turnovers, scored 13 points off those turnovers. I thought just the level of toughness and alertness defensively was a big factor for this Villanova team in the first half. And Louisville, way too many three-point shots. Half their shots were from 3, only shot 3 of 13 from 2. That's Villanova's defense that made that difference.
And we check now our first half stats brought to you by Guinness. And there it is, 26 field goal attempts for Louisville. 13 of them were three-point attempts, and points off turnovers. That's a category you usually expect Louisville to dominate. Interestingly enough, both teams turned the ball over 11 times, but Louisville didn't get any points off those turnovers.
Yeah, the turnovers for Louisville were live ball turnovers that Villanova could take the other way.
Let's bring in Doris Burke.
Well, guys, Jay Wright came out of the locker room with a big smile on his face. He was thrilled with their defense. He said, Louisville got some shots, but we rushed them a bit. He fully anticipates Williams and Clark's to try to be aggressive and get off. He said, the only concern I have in the second half is taking care of the ball. He said, our turnover number was high. He said, I'm okay with them only because we were aggressive. There's that fine line between being aggressive and not making smart plays, Jay.
That's exactly right, Doris. And I'm not sure there's a coach in America that talks to his team about being aggressive and being playmakers more than Jay Wright does. I mean, he really trusts his team to make aggressive plays and puts them in a position to do it.
Well, there's exactly the kind of shot you wouldn't think Rick Pitino would have won in their first possession of the second half. Earl Clark just walking up the floor, 1-2 dribbles and into a 3, but he knocks it down.
It was an open one. There was not a hand up, so at least it wasn't a challenge shot.
And the Cardinals back within 5. Syracuse and West Virginia still to come at our second semi tonight from Madison Square Garden. Dante Cunningham, a block by Terrence Jennings, who gets a start here in the second half in place of Samardo Samuels. Terrence Williams all the way in. Jennings with the offensive rebound. McGee from the wing, a couple of threes.
He needs timeout. There it is.
Just like that, an 8-point Villanova lead is down to 2, barely a minute into the second half. Earl Clark knocks down a 3. That was on the first possession, and then Andre McGee knocks one down from the corner, but the Cardinals are back within 2. Virginia, our second semifinal here tonight on ESPN.
Louisville has come out in this second half with far more fire, and one of the reasons has been Terrence Jennings. Samardo Samuels did not play well in the first half, and Jennings has added a little bit of an extra life to Louisville in the second half.
Funny how things can change so much from night to night. Samuels was terrific in a quarterfinal game against Providence. Now it's Jennings' turn for Villanova. Cunningham didn't play well yesterday in their win over Marquette. Now he's having a terrific night tonight.
Tough pass there by Scotty Reynolds.
Jerry Smith. That would have given Louisville the lead. They were down 8 at halftime. A couple of threes already this half by Clark and McGee have made it a 2-point game.
So the threes in transition are good shots. The transition, an excellent time to shoot a 3. Best time is after an offensive rebound.
Cunningham creating some space, and Jennings still blocked the shot. Reynolds into Dwayne Anderson, spins inside. Good cut by Cunningham.
This Villanova team so good at passing the ball at just the last second. They're into a move and seems like they're committed to it. Then all of a sudden they find somebody out of the corner of their eye.
And you talked about it. They've got playmakers all over the court. It's not just their guards who make plays for them.
Dwayne Anderson with the reach in, coming over from the weak side.
Number 3 on Anderson has been a very important part of this Villanova team tonight. Jay Wright walking down, surveying the situation, will not go to his bench at this point. As Jerry Smith goes to the line, a junior from Wauwatosa, Wisconsin. Just over 7 points per game, good outside shooter.
He's been playing very well of late. He's a guy that is a very solid defender up at the top of that 2-3 zone. And his quickness has improved. If he tightens his body up, drops a little more weight, I think his quickness is really going to get better and better.
Stokes in for Redding for the Wildcats, and Smith, a 72% free throw shooter, missed a pair. Nearly a turnover in the backcourt. Fisher, now a turnover in the front court.
All of a sudden, Villanova is the team on its heels. They had Louisville on their heels in the first half. Now it's the Wildcats.
Williams off to Smith on the wing. The third three of the second half for Louisville.
And you notice on the threes, they are, after having moved the ball from side to side, making this defense move and making them cover long distances.
It'll stay with the Wildcats, but they are really struggling so far here in the second half.
Ball starts here on the right side. And a little dribble penetration, make two play one. And all of a sudden the ball is on the other side and you've got a wide open shot.
Cunningham slips around Jennings, misses the runner.
And Jennings caused that miss. He made him miss.
And the Cardinals now looking for the lead. And Earl Clark will give it to him. Last lead for Louisville was at 6-5.
This is vintage Louisville. Controlled chaos.
And they've got it again. Terrence Williams playing free safety. Wide open, Jerry Smith.
Talk about turning defense into offense. Louisville has come out and just knocked this Villanova team back. And Corey Stokes gets caught in a trap and just threw the ball up for grabs. And Jerry Smith sets his feet, knocks it down. And this is a terrific little hesitation, shot fake, and getting into the middle. And look at the emotion. Jerry Smith knows now Louisville's going to be a different team in this second half.
It's a 14-2 run for the Cardinals to open the second half, and all you have to do is look at the emotion of Smith. Watch any part of the game you did last night, the Syracuse-UConn game. Everybody understands there are things still coming in the NCAA tournament, but this is a special week. This is an important week. It's a week that you told me earlier today in your career at Duke playing in the ACC tournament. It's a week you really cherished.
You know, you get to play in your conference tournament. It's really meaningful. People say, well, you know, both these teams are in the NCAA tournament. This game doesn't mean anything. A Big East championship means everything. And these players want to win the Big East title.
And Rick Pitino, born in New York, coached in New York. So coming back here means so much to him. Stokes, and they'll play on. The ruling was the defender went straight up in the air, entitled to the space. And now Terrence Williams inadvertently raked across the face. I think it was Fisher, and Williams is down. Number 3 on Fisher, of greater concern. Terrence Williams still down on the court.
This looked like he caught a finger in the eye. That's not only very painful, he'll be able to come back from this. And he took it right in the eye there.
That's the kind of thing you just never know the severity of the situation. Williams is up. Remember Alan Ray for Villanova, I believe, in this tournament.
Yeah,
a few years ago went through a very serious situation.
Yeah, that was a really ugly situation. Yeah. And completely inadvertent, both of them.
And Williams will be assisted off the court. Reginald Delk is going to take Williams' place. The foul, the third on Fisher.
And you were exactly right. There was not a foul call when the defender left the floor. He's entitled to that space all the way up to the ceiling, even after he's left the floor. And that was very well called by the officials. That was a great no call.
And Mike Roberts, the official, extended his arm straight up in the air as if to say he's entitled to the vertical, to the space above him. So he was letting everybody know why there was not a call. Earl Clark misses the jumper, rebound to Reynolds.
But that was a good shot off the pick and pop.
Reynolds gets inside, little hesitation, misses one from in tight. Samuels has it. And now Louisville will make its way into the front court. They have dominated Villanova here early in the second half.
Louisville getting into that 2-3 set. Get a lot of back cuts, a lot of ball screens and duck ins.
Samuels. Blocked from behind by Dwayne Anderson.
Well, Louisville shot a lot of threes in the first half. Half their shots, but a lot of them were challenged. In the second half, they've moved the ball, gotten better shots, and when they pass it from side to side, they knock them down.
Bowman, Jay Billis, and Terrence Williams back into the game. So the eye is okay, and another long jumper for Louisville. It's Preston Knowles with a three. But the Cardinals' fifth three already here in the second half.
Boy, Villanova is totally out of sync right now, and there you can see the great defensive pressure by Preston Knowles. You know, that out of bounds play was just a simple little back screen, then screen for the screener. Preston Knowles sets a back screen, then comes off a screen. He was wide open, and not resting on his laurels makes a great defensive play.
Jay, how does so much change so quickly in a game?
I think it's mostly attitude. You know, this Louisville team came out, I think, really trying to be more aggressive, a little bit upset because of the chewing out they took at halftime, and I think Villanova, frankly, was a little bit satisfied.
Corey Fisher fouled on his way to the rim. It was 34-26 for Villanova at halftime. So in 5 minutes and 5 seconds, Louisville has outscored Villanova 17-2. Remember, Villanova was up 16 on Marquette at halftime yesterday. Marquette roared back in the second half, took the lead before Nova won at the buzzer. This is semifinal number 1 of the Big East Championship. Along with Jay Billis, Doris Burke, I'm Dan Schulman of Villanova and Louisville. The second game tonight is Syracuse off that 6 overtime win last night against Connecticut and West Virginia. So the Mountaineers played a lot less, have rested a lot longer. Syracuse the 6th seed and West Virginia the 7th seed. One of those teams is going to earn a spot in the Big East Championship final.
Yeah, one of the reasons that Villanova has seen more pressure from Louisville in the second half, Louisville's making their shots. They've been better offensively, and better offensive execution allows them to get into their press.
Knowles misses the three, and the rebound for Cunningham. See if Villanova can run their stuff and get a look. They shared the ball very well in the first half. And Fisher fouled by Knowles.
Nice little hesitation move, and then going right into the body of Preston Knowles. Boy, Knowles is such a gamer.
Number 2 on Knowles. Reynolds over for a quick word with Jay Wright. Reynolds and Fisher, really 2 guys who can initiate the offense for Villanova. And there's a third guy on the floor, Reggie Redding, who Jay Wright says is their best playmaker.
Cunningham got away with a push there, and that probably was an offensive foul.
It'll just go as a turnover. The ball back to the Cardinals. And now Jim Burr, Mike Roberts in conversation. And they're going to reverse it and keep the ball at this end of the floor.
See, a little push, the discard, and just leaning that shoulder in. I mean, that's really an offensive foul.
And they reverse the decision too on the ball, so Villanova retains possession. Tough shot on a nice strong drive by Reggie Redding, his first points of the night.
Well, Reggie Redding played inside in high school. Played the center position, played for Speedy Morris in Philadelphia, former LaSalle coach. But he's really a guard, and a very good guard.
Williams loses it. Numbers for Villanova if they hurry. Reynolds off to Redding, and he will be fouled and shoot a couple.
Terrence Williams just not strong with the ball. Reggie Redding is an outstanding defender, and Jay Wright thinks he's their best defender. He worked hard to get over that screen, but that was not a strength play. You know, he was just loose with the ball, and that allowed it to be knocked loose. And anytime that ball is loose and Villanova gets it, they're going to take it the other way and look to score. And they score in transition very effectively.
Reggie Redding had an 11-assist game earlier this year against Providence. He's also had some very good rebounding games. He can guard 1 through 4. Just one of those indispensable guys. May never lead you in scoring, may never put up big point totals, but one of those indispensable guys to a coach.
He does little things that help you win. They may not turn up all the time in the stat sheet. He's always seemingly in the right position. You know, he plays below the rim, but he's always in the right spot.
And only Reynolds and Cunningham get more minutes per game on this Villanova team than Redding.
Too much dribbling.
Williams to McGee. Way long on the three. Long rebound run down by Reynolds. Louisville shooting a ton of threes, and that'll be through the hands of Redding and back over to the Cardinals.
Just not a smart play. And what are you going to do with the ball if you catch it there? And not only is there pressure coming, but if Reggie Redding makes that catch, he's not going to be able to do anything with it.
Does Villanova seem more rattled by the pressure here in the second half?
No question. But I still think that the pressure has come from the fact that Louisville has been better on the offensive end. I mean, they're executing, and that's allowing them to put their pressure on.
Clark on the drive. Too strong off the glass. Loose ball. Louisville ball.
Corey Fisher ran away from the ball there. You put it on the floor, it's gone.
Villanova's got it. Little momentum shift back here in favor of the Wildcats. And perhaps stunted right there by the offensive foul on Fisher.
What a great play by Andre McGee. Puts his chest right on the offensive player and draws that charge. That's big time. Moves his feet. He is so hard to play against.
McGee is senior, and at various times in his career he's been a starter, he's been a reserve. Whatever's been asked of him, he's done. Does not get the glory, does not get the headlines, but a great defensive guard.
His dad played at Long Beach State, and his brother played at Colorado, Antoine McGee.
Right now Louisville living and dying by the three. They were red hot early this half. They've cooled off right now.
This 2-3 zone. Good cut into the middle.
Cunningham misses the jumper. Offensive rebound. Swapshire a block. Villanova's got it again. Not for long.
Reggie Redding did a nice job of keeping that ball alive there. But again, you bring it down. Doesn't matter on which end. Somebody's going to take it from you.
Smith trying to turn the corner. Boy, you don't think of Jerry Smith as a guy who turns the corner and drives to the goal. But he'll have a chance for a three-point play after the timeout.
Jerry Smith has been very aggressive in this second half, knocking down shots, putting it on the deck. And Dante Cunningham just brought those arms down, an automatic call, but he finished the play.
What a day of college basketball. Great effort by Jerry Smith, and Louisville rewarded with an extra possession. Clark bounce past McGee. They're moving the ball a lot better here in the second half.
They're spacing the floor out. Samuels is open. They got to get it to him.
They do. And it rolls off the rim.
Louisville's pressure is absolutely relentless.
And a push to call on Jerry Smith.
You know, that was a really smart move by Scotty Reynolds. You know, he was getting ridden down the floor, and he turned right into the pressure. Watch how he leans into the pressure. Now, that got the foul. That's a veteran guard and a smart guard. Anytime you've got somebody that's leaning on you or into you, you need to turn into that pressure, not go away from it.
Good help there by Williams to slow down Reggie Redding. And a missed jumper by Shane Clark, who comes up with the offensive rebound.
Well, this game really has been a defensive struggle. And it's kind of like watching a one or a two hitter by two pitchers going against each other. And you can appreciate it, but the game's a little disjointed as a result of that, how well it's been played defensively.
A lot of turnovers as well. The two teams have combined for 32 turnovers. 18 by Villanova, 14 by Louisville.
Well, for the most part, the turnovers have been forced.
McGee knocks down a three.
Inside out basketball. Get it down into the post. Let the defense collapse just a tad and then kick it back out.
That's 6 threes here in the second half for the Louisville Cardinals. Remember, they were down 8 at the half. They're up 7 right now. 15-point swing already.
Good pass.
Reynolds. This is the guy Jay Wright wants shooting the ball. Three-pointer from the wing, Corey Stokes.
You know, Dan, not only the passing, but the shot fakes. 2 shot fakes in a row.
Louisville leaving the floor and then get it to the other side of the floor. You get a wide open shot. It's magic.
You're starting to sound like Bob Knight now talking about that shot.
I mean, you move the ball from side to side and you get something good. You got to give the defense a chance to screw up.
Terrence Williams, it rattles out. Rebound Anderson. Still too many threes, even though they've hit a lot here in the second half. Too many by Louisville.
Well, that was too quick. You still want to try to get the ball inside. I mean, they've had pretty good success when they've gotten the ball inside and then kicked it back out for a three. It's not necessarily the number of threes. It's the kind of threes that you get.
Clark off to Anderson, his first points of the second half, and Rick Pitino will try to stem the...
At halftime, we got the chance to talk to Billy Hahn, Bob Huggins' assistant for West Virginia. Asked him a little bit about the game, and he's saying, you know, we've told our kids, don't believe this business about Syracuse being tired. You know, you guys used to play 3-4 AAU games in a day. They'll be fine. You better be ready.
Preston Knowles with a long two. The lead is 4. Let's bring in Doris Burke. Doris?
Well, Jay talked in the first half about the fact that the Syracuse coaching staff would not utter the word tired. Well, in fact, I talked to them at halftime, and they said it didn't enter their vocabulary. They didn't discuss it. They just approached this like any other game, guys.
Corey Stokes makes it a 2-point game. I mean, Jay, we are talking about 18 to 22-year-old guys. They have had 20 hours to rest. And as you say, there's no blueprint to understand or to be able to predict what's going to happen here tonight.
Yeah, there's no precedent for this. But, you know, Doris is right. I mean, you know, you can sit and talk about how tired you are. That's just going to make you more tired. You know, you can't acknowledge it. You got to go out and play, and you got to play with a great deal of energy.
Syracuse not a very deep team, but one thing in their favor, as you talked about on your Sports Center hit earlier, they play zone. They're not going to be chasing people all over the place.
That's a little bit helpful to him. I think the other thing that's helpful is they got the great tip in by Dwayne Anderson.
He's got a dozen.
He just makes hustle play after hustle play.
Now all of a sudden some energy, not only back in the building on the Villanova side, but the players, you can see it in their faces. They're up now and trying to knock this team back.
McGee, another three. The assist to Terrence Williams.
How much better is Louisville when they're making shots? Sounds simple, but what a bad pass.
Knocked away by Clark. Louisville ball again.
That's 2 horrible passes in this half by Corey Stokes against pressure. Good fake.
Nice pass. Jennings is fouled. Terrence Williams again with a beautiful feed.
First, the pass fake to his left, and then the pass to his right. That was a big-time play by a terrific passer, Terrence Williams.
So Louisville leads by 3, 7.5 to go here in semifinal number 1.
And I think Louisville makes a pretty darn good case to be one of the 4 best teams. You know, they've had a very good body of work. The losses are a little bit disturbing, you know, but throughout the Big East season, this team has been very, very good, and I think one of the 4 best teams in the country.
Now, the other 2 Big East teams who are under consideration for a number 1 seed both lost in the quarterfinals of this tournament. Are they still under consideration?
I think so. Not only under consideration, I think they're locks. I think that both UConn and Pittsburgh will be number 1 seed.
So in your mind, there are, with Carolina, there are 3 locks for a number 1 seed. Right?
The only one in my mind that's up for grabs, another bad pass. And those are lame duck, take them the other way passes.
And that bad pass and the ensuing dunk by Terrence Williams enough to get Jay Wright to call a timeout before this gets away from the Cats.
There you can see Williams right here. He's just going to lie in wait, and you can see Stokes circle around, and Stokes doesn't come to the ball. You've got to go to the ball and run it into your hands. He just waits for it. And Williams, that pass had no zip on it. And Williams just jumped in front and took it the other way.
Talking about number 1 seeds, Joe Lenardi, our bracketologist right now, has 3 Big East teams along with the North Carolina. And I believe that he said things could change, so the Michigan State could make their way into the conversation. That would depend on what Louisville does, obviously, tonight and or tomorrow night.
I think the only ones really in it for a number 1 seed are Louisville, Memphis, and Michigan State. I mean, he might be able to make a good case for Oklahoma, but I just think losing in the first round of their tournament is probably going to put them as a 2.
4 recent losses, 2 of them without Blake Griffin, but 2 of them with Blake Griffin. You know, going back to Terrence Williams, obviously he's going to take a shot at a pro career. He'll be drafted and get a real good look in the NBA with all of the different things that he brings to the table. But if basketball doesn't work out, he'd make one heck of a free safety. His athleticism is as good as anybody's in college basketball, and he loves to sit back there in the middle of that zone, in the middle of that 3-quarter trap, and Run up, pick off the ball, and go slam it at the other end.
He is a big-time athlete and a great kid. Had a chance to work with him a little bit at the LeBron James Skills Academy this last summer in Akron. And always had a smile on his face, works hard, easy to be around.
NBA range 3, beyond the NBA line with 15 on the shot clock by Dwayne Anderson. Dark inside. Jennings taking advantage of the mismatch with Fisher.
The ball movement by Louisville has been much better in the second half. And this team is throwing punch after punch at Villanova. That's a bad shot.
Shane Clark way long on an open look.
Got to attack the basket.
An 8-0 run by the Cardinals to break a tie. 58-50, less than 6.5 to go. West Virginia, Syracuse in our second semifinal tonight here on ESPN.
Villanova not putting a whole lot of pressure on Louisville right now. They're there on the catch. They're not forcing them into mistakes.
Williams, no. Jennings, what a follow.
He has been a difference maker in the second half, bringing energy, going to the glass, blocking shots. He has been a very solid presence for Louisville.
And now a 10-0 run for the Cardinals. Under 6 to go. Fisher using the screen. Villanova needed that one desperately.
Louisville, I don't see many teams where their offense is usually the quality of their defense. I mean, this team gets going defensively, and when they score a few easy baskets and then they come down, they run good offense. They look a lot better offensively when they play this well in the defensive end.
Sosa right around Fisher. Missed the jumper and the rebound to Redding. Villanova has got it back down 7 nearing the final 5 minutes.
Sosa was floating on that shot, shooting at a moving target essentially. He needs to go straight up and down.
Reggie Redding to the line.
Danny talked about Louisville being a good passing team, that when they're a good passing team, they're a much better shooting team, and that makes perfect sense because when you move the ball from side to side, make the defense move, you are going to get some easy shots. And Terrence Jennings is like a very good shooter there. But when you move the ball from side to side, you're going to make that defense move. And when it moves, it gives it more chance to make a mistake.
Here comes some reinforcements. 2 Villanova subs, 3 Louisville subs, including Samardo Samuels.
One of the things you wonder right now, going down the last 5 minutes of this ball game, is Villanova going to have the legs? You know, they've been pressed this whole game, and even though this has not been a high-scoring game, there have been a lot of possessions. They've gone up and down.
A couple of big misses at the line as we go under 5 minutes. A lot of experience out there for Louisville with the likes of Williams, McGee, Smith, Clark. The one freshman, all the other 4 either juniors or seniors.
Samuels is open. He needed the ball.
Reynolds comes down with it for Villanova. They've got an opportunity here to cut into the gap. Fisher, good find to Redding. Extra pass to Reynolds. Good position by Cunningham. Reynolds for 3.
Best shot they've gotten in a while, and you wonder about their legs.
Scotty Reynolds, I'm sorry, just 2 points tonight.
He's been harassed. He's turned the ball over quite a bit. Made some uncharacteristic decisions. Good pass. Well, he's got to break that contact and go for that ball. That was a great idea, just not well executed by Louisville.
In 5 previous games in the Big East Championship over the last 3 years, Scotty Reynolds has averaged better than 19 points per game. He's got just 2 here tonight.
He's been harassed all game long.
Yep.
Guys like Jerry Smith, Andre McGee, Preston Knowles, they've recovered to him with a hand up.
Swapshire in for Clark.
Just can't say enough about this Louisville defense. I mean, sooner or later, it's going to get to you.
You look at the Big East as a conference, all 16 schools, and Louisville is 2nd in field goal percentage defense, 3rd in scoring defense, 2nd in steals, 2nd in blocks across the board. Reynolds, the offensive foul. Guess who? Andre McGee, another great defensive play.
Boy, what a great job by McGee. And that was the third time he got hit. They called it the third time, but he has frustrated Scotty Reynolds, and there's a frustrated Jay Wright.
Six Eastern tomorrow, and then the Big East Championship at 9 Eastern tomorrow, all here on ESPN.
1-2-2 3/4 court pressure right now by Villanova. And a lot of those bubble teams are big fans right now of Texas and of Wake Forest. Got to get out and put some pressure on Louisville right now. They're just milking the clock and moving the ball.
Shot clock under 10.
Smart play. Samuels has been open for several possessions here in the last 5 minutes and hasn't really gotten the ball.
Just 4 points on the night. And they continue to harass Reynolds at every opportunity.
Look at the pressure. Oh, Jerry Smith, but McGee just gets right up underneath you. He negotiates those screens and skinnies up and gets around them. That's big time.
Stokes will get a clean look. And a good rebound by Swapshire, getting some minutes here at a crunch time, protecting the lead. Earl Clark on the bench right now. Swapshire rips down the rebound.
Well, Louisville got out-toughed in the first half, but in the second half, they completely out-toughed Villanova.
Clark ready to check back in for Louisville. Cunningham ready to come back in for Villanova.
Great shot fake.
Smith gets inside. Sam Young, the master of the shot fake. Shane Clark, and he is fouled. That'll be number 7 on Louisville.
Hasheem Thabeet is the defensive player of the year of this conference. But in a different way, Andre McGee is almost as good of a defender. I mean, he's right on top of you. And now you can see Jerry Smith getting right into you. I mean, McGee does a great job of getting up underneath. And when somebody comes, sets a ball screen, he will skinny up right to the ball and just get around it. And you can't lay a body on the guy.
Villanova, the best free throw shooting team in the conference, and they'll need to hit or exceed their average to help them get back into this game. They are down by 8, barely 2 minutes to go.
And when you're smaller, like McGee is, you need to be disruptive. And he is unbelievably disruptive out on the floor. He doesn't play a ton of minutes, but he's really productive defensively in those minutes.
Remember John Linehan, Providence, a few years back? How disruptive he was?
Really similar. That's a great call.
McGee a little bulkier than Linehan was. Linehan probably quicker, but they accomplished the same thing. Smith inside all the way to the rim.
Jerry Smith.
Again, using the defense's over-aggressiveness against it with that shot fake and drive to the basket. Everybody hugging up on shooters, couldn't stop it.
16 big points, 10 in the second half for Jerry Smith. It'll stay with the Villanova.
You know there's a heightened sense of urgency right now for Villanova. A little closeout, the shot fake, and that opens it up. Everybody hugging up to their men, not seeing the ball, and that shot fake led to a layup.
Fisher Cunningham back in for the Wildcats. Open look in the corner. Corey Fisher way short. He knew it. Anderson in to pick it up. And he stepped out of bounds.
That shot by Corey Fisher looked like it was shot with tired legs. Just a little bump. See how he's bumping down below? Just that little bump helped push Anderson out of bounds.
And is the bump enough for a foul, or it's a...
Well, it's not in the Big East.
Yeah.
I mean, it's supposed to be. But when you have your hands up, oftentimes they won't call it.
Earl Clark on the follow. What a turnaround here in the second half for the Louisville Cardinals, who have gone from 8 down at the half to 11 up here late in the second half and seemingly on their way to the championship. 67 out of 70 minutes last night in the win over Connecticut. Huge minutes for Devendorf and Routens and Harris as well. So we'll see how they respond.
Got to start looking for threes.
There's Stokes. McGee the rebound.
And McGee has had a terrific game. He has been everywhere, especially on the defensive end.
And he's hit 3 threes, a little bonus at the offensive end. Into the final minute. This will be the first time that the Louisville Cardinals in their 4-year history in this tournament will advance to the championship game. And a 19-point swing here in the second half in favor of the Cardinals. You cannot run your offense at this point of the game any better than Louisville just did.
Just very well executed second half offensively and defensively.
Another turnover. The shot clock is off. Terrence Williams pumping his fist. Andre McGee pumping his fist. The Louisville bench on its feet. And the top-seeded Cardinals are on their way to the championship game.
Rick Pitino told Doris Burke at halftime, "I'm very disappointed in the play of my team." I don't think he's disappointed in the second half. He's got to be very proud and very, very pleased with the way his team responded.
Jay, they will close the game on a 19-5 run over the last 8 minutes, and the #1 seed is headed to the championship game.
That's the end of the game. The finals.
First time in 4 years that the Cardinals will play on Saturday night here in New York. And a great team effort from McGee and Clark and Williams and the rest of them as they subdue the Villanova Wildcats here in the second half. And they beat the Cats 69-55. So we are through the first of 2 semifinals. Louisville has advanced, and we are anxiously looking forward to game number 2 tonight to see the Syracuse Orange and the West Virginia Mountaineers to see who will oppose the Cardinals in the championship game tomorrow night.
14 points, 9 rebounds for the Wildcats.
Jerry Smith, Andre McGee, and the rest. A terrific second half, turning an 8-point halftime deficit into a 14-point win as we send it to Doris Burke with Rick Pitino.
Coach Pitino, at the half, you said how disappointed you were in your upperclassmen. How do you think they responded in the second?
I thought they responded great. The key to our shooting is passing. I told them I was speechless because they've been playing such beautiful basketball. Why you would go one-on-one and stop passing? They came out, passed the ball, rapid fire, making the extra pass. That's the way you got to try and beat Villanova because they're a great team.
The first 5 minutes of the second half seem to turn this. When your team plays that well on the defensive end, what's the ceiling for Louisville?
Well, I still think it starts with passing because we're a bad one-on-one team. We're a terrific team when we go one-on-one to pass the ball. Then we get our press on. Our press is relentless. This little guy next to me is one of the best 5'10" defensive players I've ever coached in my life.
He was terrific, Coach. Thank you very much. Andre, Coach just talked about the fact that at the halftime he was disappointed with the upperclassmen. What exactly did he say to you guys?
He told us that's not Louisville basketball. The way we were playing, we were giving them easy shots. We're letting them break through our press, and we pride ourselves on defense, and we didn't get that done in the first half.
Scotty Reynolds, one of the more effective guards in the Big East Conference. You rendered him ineffective. How did you do it?
Just pressure. We just kept dogging him. We know he's a great guard. You have to always keep attacking him, giving fresh bodies on him. I mean, we play against great guards every day in this conference.
You came to New York City with a bit of a chip on your shoulder. What's this team's mission?
This team's mission is to try to get another championship. We put ourselves in the position to win another one. We're going to have a tough battle tomorrow night, so we got to bring it.
Terrific job defensively.
Thank you.
Good luck tomorrow. Dan?
Doris, thank you. That's what it's all about for the Louisville Cardinals, and arguably the toughest league in America, trying to become the outright regular season champs and then win the conference tournament as well. They are 1 game away. They are headed for the championship game after a 69-55 win over Villanova. Coming up next here on ESPN, Championship Week presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. We will continue shortly with West Virginia and Syracuse in our second semi. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Time now for college basketball scoreboard. Back to